Thank you. Councillor Healy, up to 5 minutes to speak, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you and members will be aware, this council is actually committed to taking any action within its power to prevent the Royal Brompton Hospital being moved from its Chelsea site. This follows quite a lot of pressure from us and also from public speakers at council meetings. But the council has been excluded from virtually all the discussions that have been taking place on the proposal that Guys and Tommies should acquire, not merge with, acquire the Brompton. That's not perhaps surprising when the Brompton is one of the more secretive foundation trusts. However, it did carry out a limited exercise in public engagement early last year, at a time when it was specifically denying that a merger was on the table. Perhaps that was because they realised it would be an acquisition rather than a merger. I will come back to that public exercise later, but this motion is primarily concerned about the exclusion of the council, who only get a reaction from the Brompton when we, in effect, call foul. For example, when concerned members of this council approached the government in the summer asking them to intervene, Bob Bell, the Brompton CEO, got cross about the subsequent media coverage. At the Brompton's July board meeting, he dismissed the reports as, quote, disturbing noise, unquote, and, quote, baseless media reports, unquote. He said, quote, false rumouring, unquote, was worrying patients. Well, if patients are worried, it's surely because they have very little information to go on. And that's emerged from the engagement exercise I referred to earlier. Only 26 patients and 4 carers or family members attended the Brompton engagement meeting, including one mother whose child had been treated there, as well as the child's grandmother. The people who attended expressed concerns about the lack of detail on the proposal, the quality and effectiveness of the services once moved, the length of time it was taking, and the challenge of putting in place proper partnerships. One participant felt that, quote, they are doing it for the money, it's valuable land, they want it to develop housing. There were also a number of people who made affectionate comments about the Brompton and expressed worry that being part of a larger organisation could compromise its reputation. On 2nd of July this year, I raised concerns about the speed at which the Brompton acquisition was taking place at the meeting of the Adult Social Care and Health Select Committee. That led directly to a virtual meeting with the NHS Executive, the Chair and Vice Chairman of the committee, and by Robert Craig, the Brompton's Director of Development and Partnerships. He kindly supplied the meeting with a timetable, which he graciously said he was happy to share with other councillors, etc., but not apparently to allow any of us to take part in the discussions that might lead to it. He added that what he called the merger business case was aimed to be completed by late September, early October, and he would discuss with colleagues making the document available to us once it is finalised. So again, no input from us. There has been a similar reaction to the calling of tonight's meeting. We have all been sent a 3-page, 18-point briefing paper by the Brompton, clearly designed to persuade us that all is well in the best of all possible worlds. But the paper is evasive and raises more questions than it answers. It assumes that everything will be better in this proposed new institution without saying exactly what will be improved. It can hardly be the treatment, which is acknowledged as world-beating, or should I not use that term in these COVID-19 days? Is it the research, or is it the prospect of having an all-singing, all-dancing new building, provided that many times the cost of the capital sums needed to bring the Brompton up to scratch on its present site? We need to be told. I would like to remind the Brompton that as a foundation trust, it should be consulting stakeholders, including its board of governors and its members, about a change which would see the trust acquired in this way by Guys and Tommies and effectively lose its identity and its independence. Their briefing is also very unclear about the process. We're told it will take 10 years to complete the acquisition and transfer of Brompton services south of the river, but nothing is said about how those 10 years will be staged. As anyone who has been involved in change in a large organisation knows, if you gradually subtract key functions, the body starts to suffer from institutional blight. People leave because they see no clear future, and the remaining institution implodes, so it is mothballed and then sold off, which is perhaps the main purpose in the first place. I believe there should be far greater clarity about the whole process before any final decisions are made. Staff have made it clear to us that they have deep concerns, not just for their own jobs, but for the reputation of the Brompton. And I learned today that staff have already been given notice that they are about to enter toothy negotiations because they will have a new employer in January.
Time, Councillor Healy.
Have I run out of time?
Yeah, a quick one sentence summing up,
Okay.
please.
As the motion says, this is all taking place behind closed doors. We're looking for immediate actions to stop the process and suggest some of the questions that need to be asked. I trust the motion will be passed unanimously. I move.
Thank you very much indeed.